Hi, this is Jeff of Taofledermaus. You've all heard of the myth or the story about using pointed bullets in a tube-fed magazine that they'll explode when you shoot it or drop it. Today we're going to purposely try to create that condition. I made a visible tube magazine complete with spring and filled it with 4 5.56 rounds. The 5.56 round has a very sharp pointed tip, and when we put them in the tube they line up perfectly. The tip is in the center of the primer, just where we need it. Now the idea is that the tips of the bullets are going to act like firing pins and strike that primer if the gun is shot, the recoil from the gun, or if the gun is dropped on the ground. Either condition could set off those primers. Now I wanted to do this safely, of course. That was absolute priority number one, but also show what happens. And we had this old 410 shotgun that we'll strap this thing to, kind of creating our own tubular magazine, and put it up against a little stud there where the handguard used to be. Then we'll put a plate against the butt of the gun, shoot it with different rounds, and see if we can set these things off.
We should be there. We're going to be hitting this piece of ballistic fiberglass with a Glock 43.
Glock 43.
Glock 43 9mm.
Okay.
Newly purchased. This one's brand new out of the gun store just this week.
Wow. We'll cover it with molasses or something. See how it give a good torture to gum.
Rubber bands like Matt V does.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know.
I'm ready to go when you are.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah. I didn't like this first test because the bullet actually went through our ballistic plate. It must have been so shot up that it just can't stop bullets anymore. So we're going to put up a AR 500 steel armor plate and shoot against that.
That certainly impacted the shotgun.
Although we had a better impact this time, didn't really see anything happen again. Didn't really move the gun a whole lot. Still, it was a sharp impact that I would have thought would have set him off. And you'll notice that we have the ballistic gummy bears all around this thing to capture any fragments when or if it blows up. Now let's see what a 40 Smith & Wesson bullet will do.
Okay, 40 cal.
Certainly punched it harder.
Okay. In this test we used a much lighter stainless steel plate instead of the AR 500 armor plate, thinking that we can transfer more energy into the shotgun with a lighter plate. We definitely got a sharper impact. We saw a little jitter there, but no detonation.
Hit hard enough to break the stock.
Here's our piece of
It's like a Bakelite or rubber, something. I don't know, it must be Bakelite. Hit it hard enough to hit that, and I think it lurched it forward, and no detonation.
It left a pretty good little impact in here.
Yeah.
So, the Super Sock beanbag round. Good grief. I didn't even hear that go off.
Now this is a Kevlar sock with 1 ounce of lead shot in it, and we wanted to see if it would have kind of a dead blow hammer effect. Again, we didn't have any detonation.
Okay, now we're going to shoot with a wax slug.
Okay, anytime. All right. Wow. All right. Wow.
A wax slug is kind of a homemade frangible round made out of crayon wax, melted together with the lead shot, poured back in the shell, and creates a solid projectile that explodes on impact, basically. It pretty much instantaneously dumps all its energy when it hits anything. And again, nothing. Now the impact was strong enough to actually crack the wood stock of this shotgun, so we know that we're transferring a lot of energy, a very high impulse of energy, into the shotgun, yet we're not seeing the chain reaction going on. So let's take it to the next level and shoot something even more powerful at this and see if we can get this thing to go off.
What else can we hit it with?
Well, we were thinking about trying a 1-ounce slug, a standard old Winchester 1-ounce slug from Walmart.
Probably 15 or 1600 feet per second, so it's a lot faster than the wax slug. Okay.
All right. Wow. We got some damage there.
I've never heard a ricochet or a bullet fragment whine like that last so long. It just went on and on and on. It was just crazy. But once again, we slammed this thing with that 12 gauge Foster slug. You can see the bullets shake around a little bit, but nothing happened. And honestly, I thought this thing would have gone off long before we got to the Foster slug. I thought even just the 9mm or the 40 cal would have set these things off.
That went right through that plate. That's
Our
pretty
1-ounce
impressive.
slug punched right through there. Looks like an Eric Carle Little Hungry Caterpillar book. And then shattered the rest of the buttstock, chipped a piece of wood off, broke our brick, and still did not light off the rounds. And we've reversed the rounds now in this tube, so they're all pointing rearwards. For those of you who think that the impact needs to be the opposite direction, we'll try and hit it from this side now.
Wax slug.
Okay, hit it.
Now in this test, instead of it simulating a drop, this actually simulates the recoil, the strong recoil of a gun. And once again, nothing happened. I was kind of expecting the bullets in there to kind of be pushed with inertia against that spring, but really we didn't even see that happen.
So we've made a California legal AR-15 because we've got 8 rounds here hooked to this tactical shotgun from 1899. What we've done here is place the steel barrel up against a steel plate for those basement scientists who believe that it needed to be hit more directly and from the front. So we'll give that a try. We're going to put a...
Hey, we're kind of basement scientists too, though, aren't we?
Exactly. But you're going to get a lot of naysayers who think that we should hit it from this side. And we've done away with the recoil mitigation of a wooden stock. We're going steel to steel. And if that doesn't light those things off...
In both directions, you know, we're doubling up. One more shot with a wax slug.
Suicide rifle. These shoot out to the bad guy and these come back at you. So we'll be using a standard old wax slug and putting the impact right here on the muzzle of the shotgun.
The Benelli with no choke.
Anytime.
Now if you have any reservations about just how much force we're putting into this shotgun, this really says it all. It actually opened up the brake action on this thing. And you'll notice that the acrylic tubes are also bending around. We're putting a lot of force into this. And this really says it all right here. Watch as the barrel actually bends. Now in this test we have, of course, the bullets facing forward and also facing back, so it's like 2 tests in one, and still they didn't go off.
There you go. It's a lot harder to create a chain reaction than you thought, than I thought. I thought it would hit, the 9mm would have set it off, you know. I really did. I thought if we dropped one of those on the ground, it was going to go.
40 caliber wouldn't do it. A 1-ounce slug wouldn't do it. A wax slug wouldn't do it.
We shot like 3 wax slugs, I think, at it.
Yeah, we've got to disassemble this quick because this is a magazine-fed rifle in California.
Oh no. I think it's got a bullet button somewhere on it.
Oh, that's, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. There you go. We tried.
Myth busted.
But we'll have these rigs, and we, you know, if anyone has a suggestion of what else we can do, we've got it available. So, you know, maybe drop it off from a drone or something. You know. I don't know. There's no tall buildings around here.
No.
And now the million-dollar question, which will tell us a lot, is there any primer strikes? Is there any dents in there from the bullet tip striking them? And strangely enough, there really isn't. There's on maybe 1 or 2 of them, you might see a tiny little mark on it, but not enough to set them off. So is it safe to shoot pointed bullets out of a tube-fed magazine? Heck no, I still wouldn't do it just because in my head I know what's going on, right? And even if it's 1,000,000 to 1 odds, I would still err on the side of safety. I hope you were as surprised as I was with this test. Thanks for watching.